Welcome back, everyone. I'm really excited to introduce you to our morning guest. Please welcome our visitors from the Northeast Michigan Great Lakes Stewardship Initiative. Right beside me, I have Megan Schwartz. She is our network coordinator. And I have Hannah Hayeswinkle, our Huron Pines AmeriCorps member. Yes, ladies, thank you for joining me this morning.
Thanks so much for having us.
You are welcome. So Megan, what is this Great Lakes Michigan initiative?
So the Northeast Michigan Great Lakes Stewardship Initiative is a network of community and education partners that help integrate environmental education into the classroom. And we also do projects within the community to better the community with students. So we follow what's called a place-based education model. It's place-based in that students are getting their hands in the dirt. They're getting their feet in the water. We're in waders.
I'm obviously not dressed to go in the water. I didn't get an outfit.
Next time we'll get you some waders. So students are out in their community, learning about their community in the local environment, and then doing these projects that help better the community. So we also incorporate education elements to that too. So we bring in local experts that are part of our network to offer their expertise into these projects. And Hannah is going to tell you a little bit more about an example of some projects we've done.
Yeah, so macro-invertebrate studies are an example of a project that we do with a lot of different student groups because it can tell you a lot about the quality of the water. So macro-invertebrates are little creatures that don't have backbones that live in the water, and their presence can indicate a lot about the quality of the water, whether or not the river is polluted. And in the case of the macro-invertebrates we brought in today, we've got quite a few rusty crayfish. And rusty crayfish are actually an invasive species in Michigan. And we have them all in the Thunder Bay River. And actually, the people to discover that we had this invasive species in the Thunder Bay River was a 5th grade class from LOI Elementary.
Really? And what is this 5th grade class?
So this is Bob Thompson's 5th grade class. This was
I know them. I know those kids.
Yeah.
Hey, Mr. Thompson's class.
So they were sampling crayfish in the river just as part of one of their class studies, and then they realized, oh, these rusty crayfish are invasive. And now the Fish and Wildlife group here are aware of the crayfish in this river. So it's really cool. The work that these students do contributes directly to the community, and these projects help improve our ecosystems.
Can we dive a little deeper into this invasive species? What are they doing to the environment, might I ask? Do we know that?
Sure. So invasive species typically are a species that comes in that aren't native, and they'll take over the habitat. So they'll kind of edge out the native species by either taking over their food source or their habitats, and they kind of just come in and take over everything. So
is it like the zebra mussels that we find in our Great Lakes?
Yeah, very similar to that. So those came in through the canals, and they've taken over. As you can see, they're very damaging, and rusty crayfish also are having that effect on the native crayfish populations.
Now, your organization does have volunteer and fundraising efforts that you guys put on each year. I would love to talk about those projects.
Sure. So the best way that community members can help NMIGLSI, so we call it NMIGLSI for short because it's a longer name.
It sounds like a species, NMIGLSI.
NMIGLSI, yeah. So they can check out our website. We've got projects that are currently happening. Our website is nemiglsi.org, so NEMIGLSI.org.
What she said?
Yes. And then, so we're in a new month. November is a new month, and the end of the month, there's our Giving Tuesday campaign, which is ran by the Community Foundation for Northeast Michigan. And we would love for you to keep us in mind for making a donation there. We'll be participating in that. It's an annual giving campaign ran through the Community Foundations.
Now, you guys brought the crayfish in. Can we please show that crayfish?
We did.
And can you talk a little bit about the crayfish and what they look like and what they do?
So again, the rusty crayfish are invasive. They outcompete native species. In the case of what we would do with the students, this class, Bob Thompson's class, has been monitoring these crayfish over a period of several years. So every year they go into the Thunder Bay River, they sample the crayfish, they measure them, and then this data gets submitted to Michigan State University for research. So the whole idea of place-based education is that they're doing this for their science classes. It's not an extra project. This is their science class. And they're contributing to community stewardship and research effort to educate and also eradicate this invasive species from the Thunderbird River.
Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on this morning. I appreciate it so much, Megan.
Yeah,
thank you,
pleasure.
Hannah. Thank you so much. Please come back anytime to talk more about invasive species and what we're doing here in our Great Lakes and the river.